Okay, good. Hello, everyone. I hope the energy level is not too low now before the lunch break. Bear with me for the next 45 minutes. We're going to experience an interesting journey of innovation. Today, I'm going to represent UniCredit. No, I cannot help you requesting a loan, or I cannot give you details about an existing one. And for sure, I cannot help you with your most recent rejected transaction. Surprisingly or not, we're also doing software development, starting from the obvious things that you can imagine, from mobile and online banking, up to most sophisticated investment and advisory solutions that help our clients, retail and private, to invest and grow their wealth. As about me, I'm one of the many people that is supporting this digital transformation of UniCredit. I started this journey a few years ago as a software developer and step by step grew into a leadership position. I started to like a lot the people management part, and I started to be involved in the strategic transformation from a growth and technological point of view of the area. Now, if you have people around that are passionate about football, you can compare me with Jose Mourinho, but the IT area. No, I'm not teaching my guys how to write code. They are already amazing on this part, and for sure, I don't have debates with them about which architectural patterns to use in our end-to-end delivery. What I'm doing, actually, is to ensure the environment for their growth. I'm making sure that they are working well together as a team, and they have the proper mindset of continuous growth and improvement. Now, today, we're not going to talk about any technological breakthrough or about any sophisticated architectural pattern that you can learn. For this, you had, and you still have, these other amazing speakers today from where I encourage every one of you to learn and put in practice those best practices and to-dos. With me, we're going to walk through a journey of transformation from where we can learn, on one side, how to navigate in a rigid environment, especially a corporation, how to succeed against all odds, and how to make the impossible possible. How does that sound? In order for the story that I'm about to tell you to make sense, I feel obliged somehow to give you a little bit of context. So, we're talking about a big corporation that, on top of it, it's a bank. That means that we have a lot of rigid and solid processes that don't help us that much with the flexibility. In terms of applications and business functionalities, the story that I'm about to tell you, it's about a few years ago, where our landscape was around local solutions, meaning that we had certain clients, for example, in certain countries, Germany, Italy, and Austria, and all the products that we had back then were developed based on the legal, regulatory, and compliance law from each single country. That means that we have more or less the same solution, for example, in Germany and Austria, that is mainly doing the same thing, but we have a different code base, we have a different product that is supporting that feature, and we have a different infrastructure and different deployment targets. In terms of concrete technology, we're talking mainly about Java enterprise applications that are tightly coupled with mainframe solutions. We're talking about huge monoliths that have a lot of dependencies and a lot of functionalities that are bring together. So we have no segregation of responsibilities. Everything is in a single place because it's easier. And in terms of infrastructure, we're mainly talking about mainframe on one side and bare-bone WebSphere servers. Sounds amazing, right? I know. Good. Another important aspect before delving into the story is the team that was involved. We're talking about a team that I had a few years ago, and most of them are still part with us today. a team of really good professionals, passionate about development and end-to-end delivery. It was a team, and still is a team, that worked together for a few years already. They created some bonds, they created trust between each single member of the team. And it was a team with high ambitions, with the mindset to always improve and find the best possible solution for our customer. In the same time, this team was not exposed to huge challenges. What we knew so far was mainly about the environment that we were working in, meaning local solutions and products that are not that complex. So, long story short, we did not have an experience with a big program with a lot of interdependencies, dozens of systems that have to collaborate between them and interact in a proper way. And we were not that prepared for this kind of step. Now, I hope I did not bore you too much, but you'll see that it will make sense to have the context of the actual landscape. And let's delve into the concrete story. I have a dream. No, this is not Martin Luther King speaking to you. It's actually our former chief information officer that woke up one day and said, guys, we have all these huge monoliths that are spread across the countries that are doing more or less the same thing for our different customers. Wouldn't it be an amazing idea to merge somehow these monoliths, to make them work together, interact well together, and offer a global platform for our investment and advisory area? So we had already a new concept of globalization that was spread around. So basically the idea was to think about a solution of investment for our clients that on one side creates a unified and common user experience across multiple countries. The starting point was three main clients, Germany, Italy, and Austria, but with the potential to extend also for further customers in the future. The idea was to combine, again, these local functionalities, try to merge them together, and offer this amazing, sophisticated investment solution that, again, will help our clients to grow their wealth, because why not? They are rich, we are going to make them richer. So we had more or less a certain goal. Okay, we want a global platform, and we want it to be fancy. That's it for now. We don't have other details. Now, we have in front of us this goal, this target that comes from our CEO, and we have two potential paths that we can take. On one side, we have the easy way, that's on the right, which means basically, okay, we are not reinventing something in terms of functionalities and workflow. We already have these local functionalities spread across Italy, Germany, and Austria. We just copy the functionalities that are missing for one client to the other, adjust it a little bit, and make it work. Of course, maybe we have to add on top something new, something fresh, but at least we build on a foundation that we know and is certain somehow for us. There was an idea back then, and probably it's an idea that is circulating across multiple organizations, and it was a concept of porting. I don't know if you are familiar with the word porting, or if it's used in your organization, but basically, for our senior management, porting means a more sophisticated copy-paste. I take something from here, I put it there, plug it, and it's going to work. All good. So, on the right, we have this idea. Okay, let's take these components that we have. One concrete example, we had a functionality that was available in Italy but not in Germany. And they said, okay, let's move this big monolith from Italy to Germany, make it work somehow with the other applications and the other products, and we're going to create this global homogeneous platform. Then, on the left, we had the other option to try to start in a different way, to try to rewrite from zero at least one of the products. The backbone for this platform was actually the data collector. We have to collect data from different countries, from different legacy systems, and again, we're talking about huge legacies and a lot of mainframe applications. We had to take all this data, normalize it, aggregate it in a global way, and make it available to the front end to expose the advisory journey and investment platform. And for this solution on the right, the initial proposal, we're going to go into the concrete details and how we started it. But the idea was, okay, let's start it from scratch. Let's design from the beginning a new data model that is applicable for the existing clients, and we can make it extendable. And let's also make it easily scalable and segregate a little bit the functionalities, because today we have everything together. Let's try to separate all these responsibilities in a modular way and make it available in this shape. So we had these two options. Now, for the safe option, of course, it's something that was known, it was easier, it was available, and there was no issue in terms of budget timeline for the project. It was something that we knew from a business logic and tech stack and infrastructure point of view. It was something that kept us somehow, or could keep us in the comfort zone. We had no extra effort because it was something familiar, and no headaches because, okay, it's there, we know it, we'll just build on top. And in the end, at least short term, if we're looking from a business perspective, the customer satisfaction could be the same. Then, for the right part, of course, it's riskier and full of uncertainties, because until then, we were working mainly with, as I said, monoliths that were at least 10 to 15 years old, monoliths that were tightly coupled with the mainframe solutions. And on top of that, monoliths that were deployed on WebSphere servers. So, on the new approach, we already proposed a modular solution that was mainly oriented to the microservice architecture. And it was something that was new for the team. It was something that we never built in the past, and we never did it from zero for a global platform. Again, not local solutions. Then this approach has extra cost, time, money, potentially mental health, because we might face issues that we are not able to solve, or we have no idea how to move further. It's full of issues and headaches, and again, short term, we might have more or less the same customer experience. Now, I would say that it's obvious what we choose in terms of approach, because otherwise I would not be here to tell you the story. There would not have been a story. But I'm curious, what would you choose if you were in our position? The easy way to build on top of existing legacies, or the new way, considering, again, the risks? Let's do a simple exercise. Please raise the hand who would go for the easy way. Okay, we have 2 or 3 people, fine. I would assume that the majority of you would choose the hard way. For the sake of the exercise, let's raise the hand for the hard way. Who will choose it? Okay, good. Now, my question to you, and it was also a question to us at that point, is why? Why would we choose the hard way? Yeah, it's more fun. Of course, we can play around with new technologies, we can play around with new architecture. But again, what is the cost? And I will try to walk you through our questions back then and our reasoning about why we should go to this solution. Was it to prove that we are smarter? Yeah, it might be. I mean, until a certain point, it's something that helps. Was it to brag about it a few years later on Box Day scenes? We'll never know. We did not have this information back then. Was it to get double paycheck and extra bonuses? Would have been fun, but never happened. I'm still waiting for them. So let's see. Was it to sleep better at night? For sure, no. So again, why would someone choose the hard way? Because you always have the possibility to go the easy way, to remain in your comfort zone and do the things that you know how to do. So, why? I will tell you our reasons. The first one might be subjective and might not be applicable for all of you, but it's mainly related with the internal motivation that the team had, the intrinsic motivation of doing the things in the right way, and focus on the quality for the long run. It was about trying to do something smarter and trying to do the right thing. But what is more generic, and it's not subjective to a certain team, it's the other more profound reason from my point of view. Because I would like that every one of you will see this transformation, or when you are faced with an innovation challenge, I would like you to see it not only a transformation in terms of technology, because, okay, that's one side of it, but it's also a personal transformation as an individual and also as a team. Because if you are choosing the hard way, you are putting yourself in a new situation where you are faced with new problems. You need to be creative, you need to find solutions, you need to be smart, you need to grow, you need to learn new things, and you need to find your way through. So I hope that, again, I did not bore you with the reasoning, but I think it's fundamental to go on with the story. Step one, we already had this project on our table, and we had to make a proposal. So the initial proposal, again, it was, okay, we have all these big monoliths, we'll put them together, make them kiss each other, and it's going to work fine. Then we came up with the first step, and we said, okay, guys, we have these 3 big monoliths. We know them, we can build on top of them, fine. What if for one of them that is the center of the applications and the center of the platform, which is related with the data collector and data collection tools, what if we try to think it from scratch, we try to design it already in a global way, in a modular way, in order to be easy to decouple all the functionalities that we need, and to be easier to scale it up in the future also for other clients. Okay, today we have 3, tomorrow we might have 20, who knows? So having this started from 0 is going to allow us to properly design it. We're not going to have to deal with the technical debt from the monoliths. We're not going to choose which functionalities from the existing pieces we have to take. We just take it from 0 and do just what is needed for our purpose. Of course, it was not easy to convince everyone that this is the right way. We had different sessions with our management, telling them about the advantages, and most importantly, telling them that it's not going to bring additional cost, because this is a quite important factor, especially in a big organization. Of course, we lied a bit, but it is what it is. I'm not encouraging you to lie to your management or to your organization, but sometimes might work. Then it was approved, everything was fine. Okay, let's create a new product. Let's see what happens, and let's see where we land. And we have the new picture on the left, where we have 2 big monoliths that have to talk with a new product that is built around modular approach and around microservices. Then we came with the second proposal and said, okay, we know that we have these 2 monoliths. What if we try to create again new products also for these 2 pieces? It's going to be easier to integrate with the already existing ones that we have to create. It's going to be, again, easier to scale it up for the future. And again, we are building it from scratch, and we choose only the functionalities that we need. Again, it was not something easy. It took a lot of conviction and a lot of pushing from our side to go to this solution. Again, we had to lie a bit and say, yeah, we're fine in terms of budget, timeline. We're not going to extend it in any way. And the solution was approved, and now we are in an area where on one side we decouple our old applications from the mainframe, because we don't have these tightly interactions with DB2 store procedures, IMS, chicks connectors, and whatever. And we have these new products that are built on the new world, on an open world where we don't have to deal with any mainframe solution, and we are able to create these new components in a modular way where each single component have its own feature and its own responsibility. Of course, I wanted to highlight these 2 steps first, because it's important when you try to innovate or to change something dramatically, it's important to start small, because if we would have to go to our top management and say, okay, you have these 3 monoliths, it's bullshit, let's delete everything and let's create something new, everyone would have said, forget it, it's not going to happen, it's too much risk associated, so no, it's not approved. And we had to start small. Okay, let's put just 1 new product. It was accepted. A few days, weeks later, we came also with the second proposal. We already had 1 product. Why not building 2 others? So it's not going to make a big difference. And in the end, we managed to convince everyone about this approach. So far, so good. I mean, we are in a step where we have to create 3 new products. And again, when I'm saying products, it's not just 3 components. We have products, and in our case, in our organization, they are called applications, but they don't have a single responsibility. So we can have 1 product or 1 application that has dozens or hundreds of microservices underneath it. So it's a more or less landscape itself, an ecosystem itself. And we have this proposal where, okay, now we have 3 new applications that we have to create from zero. We have to shift a bit our approach, and we have to think already on a global way. We have to design it into a microservice architecture pattern, and we have to think about it also from a scalability point of view. So it was already a huge challenge for us, and it was a program and project that was quite complex, nothing that we faced before. And it was something that was happening, and it was quite funny. Our top management came to us and said, guys, okay, you have this new program, you have this new project, you already proposed to have 3 new products that are written from zero. You know that we have an infrastructure team that is usually playing around with different proof of concepts, playing around with different new architectural platforms that we are going to use. And there is currently a proof of concept that is more or less finalized, and it's around the private cloud from Red Hat, OpenShift namely. It's not fully ready. We are not sure if it's going to fully work, but it's promising, and it might be one of the target platforms for our area. And the guys from top management told us, okay, you have now the option to stick to the WebSphere servers that you know and you are familiar with, or you have the option to go on private cloud. Of course, if you want to go on private cloud, you need some expertise and previous experience of private cloud. And of course, they asked us, okay, guys, do you have expertise with private cloud? We had no idea what, I mean, don't get me wrong, we are not isolated from the outer world. We know what private cloud is, or cloud in general, but we did not have any practical experience working with private cloud in UniCredit and building application on private cloud. But of course we said, yes, we have experience, why not? And in the end, we took also this challenge. So now we are in a situation where we don't only have new applications that are global, we don't have new technology only, we also have a completely new infrastructure that we never used before. I would like to pause a bit, at least to derive some main points so far that are related with the innovation and the progress, and what are the concrete steps that help you move to the next level. The first one is related with the creation of a strong team. The main reason why we accepted this risk and this challenge was related with the fact that we had a team that was not composed by the most sophisticated developers, the top of the top, the best engineers in the world, but it was a team that had a strong bond and had a strong relationship of trust. It was a team that had the same goal, and they were working into the same direction. And putting this together with the trust and with the mindset gave us somehow a comfort that we can make it. We don't know how, but we will make it. So one of the key factors is creating and building a strong team. The other is related with challenging the status quo. usually you'll always be faced, again, I'm talking about big organization, you'll always be faced with the label or the status quo. We've always done like this. It's safe, it's easier, let's just do it. It's also hard to change it because we are a big corporation or we are a bank, and let's do it in the safe way. And one important step is to challenge the status quo and to came with some proposal. Okay, let's try maybe this time in a different way. Let's go small. Let's try to explore at least something new. And the last one is, of course, associated with taking risk. And I encourage you, when you have the chance to take a decision and it feels scary, you're mainly shitting yourself because you have no idea what you have to do, embrace that risk and take it, because that risk is going to, or that decision is going to move you to the next level in your personal evolution and your evolution as a team. Good, so now we are having a new program that was accepted. It was on our table. We have a program that aims to create 3 big new products with a lot of microservices underneath. We have a complete new platform in terms of infrastructure. Yes, we know the target, we know what we have to deliver, very high level, but we have absolutely no idea on how to do it. So everyone was on one side excited because we have this opportunity ahead of us, but in the same time, very scared and afraid that we are not going to make it because we don't know where to start. What is the first step? So we had 3 main clusters of problems. Of course, there was a lot more, but I'll try to summarize it on the main ones that we faced. On one side, we had the creation of a global data model. So we had to think about our investment area from different countries, taking the particularities of each single countries and try to derive some components that have a single functionality or a single purpose and is going to also be extendable in the future. That component has to interact also with the others in order to make the whole ecosystem work together. So the first step was creation of this data model. The second one was related with the concrete software design for the whole platform. Again, we had very good developers, a very good team, but we were not faced with a huge platform like this where we have dozens, hundreds of microservices that have to work together and to provide this advisory solution. And we had to design this architecture from zero, having nothing. And we had to design it on a global model that was not present. We had to create it. The last point is related with the concrete infrastructure that was completely new. We had no idea how to deploy applications on cloud, how to configure them, and how to make them work. So it's a fun situation. Everyone was scared inside the team, and we had to become creative and had to find some solutions on all these clusters of problems. For the global data model, the only creative idea that we had back then was to try to take all these people that we know from all the countries, and we took business analysts from Germany, Italy, and Austria. We took technical analysts. We took mainframe guys because we had to know how to decouple the mainframe part. We took guys that were specialized in legal topics, compliance topics, regulatory topics. Put everyone in a single room, a virtual room. We closed the room with a virtual key, and we stayed there for days and weeks trying to derive this data model that is going to satisfy the needs for the global platform. We had to bang our heads against the wall. We had to rewrite dozens of times this model, and we had to compromise in the end that we cannot design it 100% from the beginning, and we have to stick to an MVP and a basic data model that is going to work. So for the globalization, we managed to have at least a more concrete idea by putting everyone together and trying to derive something. Then, for the software design, of course, we started to draw something, to have some sketches and play around with microservice architecture. We created these products on paper. We saw the interaction between them. It looked quite promising, but again, we were not sure if this is the right approach. Again, we had no previous experience working with microservice architecture, and we had no other senior guys to confirm our assumptions and our approach. We were the most seniors already, at least in the area, and everything was on our shoulders. So you have to take the decision. Is it right? Is it wrong? Who knows? Back then, and it's still happening today, we had different training sessions with different trainers from Romania or from Europe. One of these trainers was Victor, that was here today telling you about code smells. And again, the only creative idea was, okay, let's try to call Victor. Let's try to see with him if our idea is the right one. Let's try to see if we can improve it. And let's confirm if the direction is the proper one and we are really going into a microservice architecture. Of course, you know Victor, and he was kind enough to accept our challenge. And we had 3 days workshop with him. We stayed for about 10, 12 hours, again in a virtual room, locked with the team and Victor, and tried to put all the things on the table. Okay, what can go right? What can go wrong? Are we breaking it down too much? Maybe we're not breaking it enough. Maybe we're going to have a lot of dependencies and issues when it comes to monitoring and log management. So we had all these questions on the table. In the end, we derived something that made sense, at least at a certain point in time. And after these sessions with Victor, we had at least a more concrete idea on what is going to happen next. Then, for the third cluster of problems, for the infrastructure, again, the only creative idea was to have a training on OpenShift. We took a 1-week training that is going to cover at least the foundation of what private cloud means, what OpenShift means, and what it means to deploy and configure an application there. Of course, it was not something that made us experts after 1 week, but at least we had a starting point. We knew what it means, and we knew what it means in our environment and how to do it inside UniCredit. Then, the other creative idea still related with the infrastructure and OpenShift was to go again to our management and tell them, okay guys, I know that we have already expertise in the team, even if we did not have it, but in order to be safer and to ensure this delivery, it would be good if we have at least on call someone from Red Hat that can pinpoint a certain issue if you face it, and we solve it together. Maybe we need it, maybe we don't, but it's good to have someone there to be able to call it and confront our problems with. We had this accepted, we had that guy, we did not reach him that much, fortunately, but at least we had the emotional safety net that there is someone there and we can call him in case of issues. So, somehow, after all these exercises, all these collaborations, all these interactions with different people, we had at least a more concrete how. We knew where to start, everyone had a task, everyone knew, okay, I can start with this part, I can focus on it, and then we will see. But it was a starting point, and it was something that put us in motion and started to actually build on this new platform. Again, I would pause a bit and try to derive some aspects from the second part. The first one is related with the new problems, and again, I'm encouraging every one of you to embrace new problems, because you can see the new problems as an indicator towards your evolution and towards your step to the next level. If you are confronting yourself every day with old problems or the same problems, you already have at least one solution. Maybe you have dozens of solutions for the certain problem. Maybe you also have dozens of workarounds that are going to solve the problem. And you are somehow on a plateau. You are in a comfort zone because you are already automatically solving that problem. So it's not a path for growth. It's not a path for evolution. So new problems usually means a step towards evolution because new problems are forcing you to be creative. New problems are forcing you to find new solutions and to learn new things in order to fix those problems. The second part, it might be or sound obvious, sometimes it's not that easy, but you should be willing to ask for help. You will be amazed on how many things can happen if you are open to ask for help. You can learn from a lot of people, you can build a network, you can interact with a lot of persons from where you can learn, but you have to be, on one side, willing to take the risk to face these new problems and then be willing to ask for help. In the end, we made it because every story should have a happy ending. And we managed, after 1 or 2 years, to deliver this global platform. Now, if you ask me, was it easy? Absolutely not. We had a lot of pain, we had a lot of troubles, we had to recalculate our roadmap multiple times, we had to readjust, we had to make compromises in terms of architecture. Maybe it's not the best architectural pattern, maybe we had to stick around something that makes sense in our context. Maybe the actual globalization is not a pure globalization, because in a bank, maybe you cannot reach 100% global functionalities and you have to be pleased with 95, 90%. And we had to accept this and move further. So, again, if you ask me, it was a difficult journey. It was a journey from where we had to learn a lot. And it was a journey that transformed ourselves. And again, some important points, but before going to the final list of conclusions, one important aspect related with this complete journey, with the fact that taking risks is going to move you to the next level, I would like to leave you with the fact that you need to understand that in the end, universe is going to reward the people that are brave enough to take the leap and to take risks. Because you see, also in our case, in our context, we took the risk, we had no idea what we were going to do, we only had the conviction that fundamentally the idea that we have in mind is the right one. We also had the trust between each other that, okay, let's see, we can make it. We also had difficult troubles and challenges in the past, and we will find a way. But after we took all these risks and all these challenges, all the stars and planets started to align. Victor was willing enough to help us. The other colleagues in Italy, Germany, Austria, everyone said, okay, guys, let's do it. We'll find a way. Let's go and design this data model. So in the end, you are going to be rewarded for the risk that you took, and you are going to learn a lot on this journey. Now, as takeaways and things to remember after this discussion, again, it was quite high level, and we cannot, or we don't have the time to delve into all the certain details and the steps from the process, but at least the main points are the ones that are shown on the slide, and I go through them again just to stay with them and remember them for the future. So the first one was related with building a strong team and cultivate trust. I will not go again to details. I hope it's clear for everyone that having a team, it's one of the key aspects to succeed. Then is the part related with the risk. Be willing to embrace risk, especially when it feels the most scary. Be willing to ask for help. It might not be easy, it might not be comfortable, but I encourage every one of you to ask for help when you feel that you are in trouble. And the fact that the universe rewards the brave ones. Now, to close this session, because I assume that you are all hungry, I would like to leave you with 2 quotes that I saw in the recent days. They stick with me. There were some Instagram reels, if you're wondering, but they were nice. The first of the quote was related with the success in your job. And it was something like this. Remember that 80% in the success in your job is based on your ability to deal with people. Yes, technical part is important, but you also need the social skills and the human skills to deal with people. The second one was related with taking actions and what it means to do something, to do a thing. I also have a very close person to me, a friend that is always telling me, Alex, actions, not words. So I'm going to try to replicate the code. And again, it was something like this. Thinking about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Putting a to do the thing is not going to do the thing. Telling your friend that you're going to do the thing is not going to do the thing. Reading about how to do the thing is not going to do the thing. Reading about how others did the thing is not going to do the thing. Being frustrated about the fact that you did not do the thing is not going to do the thing. The only thing that's doing the thing is doing the thing. Thanks, everyone.